Hey Howard and Eduardo, I'm about to show you the brand new Hampton and Brickell pool deck. This is when you come out from the glass doors. And as you'll see, it's all open now. So as I mentioned to Howard, I realized while I was working on this that because we are changing the pool deck to technically be this entire space by changing the pool barrier to be the doors rather than at the railing, we can open up this entire space. And I think it really dramatically changes the experience. So we'll start from right here and walk you through kind of explaining the different aspects. You look up at the ceiling. This is the existing ceiling, but painted differently. New light fixtures, new fans, and then a couple of added details. So I'll show you the specifications for everything a little bit later after the walkthrough. But I'm having these stripes on the ceiling in yellow and white to complement the stripes on the floor and the tile. And then there's a very clear visual barrier to change to indicate that the level is changing. And that's obviously very intentional for safety, so everyone can see that. And then you have this chevron pattern at the pool itself. So everything is leading you physically, visually from inside to the outside, the water, and looking out. So the graphics are all very directional, and that's very intentional. So the other thing I want to mention up here is you'll see these light fixtures. On the ends, I have these low profile recessed lights, and then in the middle, I have these thickened edge recessed lights. The frame, these are all black frames, and I think just that subtle difference, that play, gives it that extra pizzazz, little funk and artsy aspect. And then black sconces over here, so it all complements each other. These fans have lights at the bottom as well as at top, and if you look way up, no one will ever see this, but I want to point it out to you, is all along the perimeter. Because this drop ceiling has space all around, I've added a little LED strip light. So let me walk you through and point out some different details. The flooring, as I mentioned to Howard, was specified before, was discontinued in the plank style. So what I'm showing here is a wood look tile in white, gray, and brown. The brown, as you can see in the light, in the sunlight, looks brown. In shadows and shade, it looks black. It is a solid brown color, and within the veins for the wood grain, those look more black. So you do get that monochromatic look of the white, gray, and black, and that's the overall design aesthetic. It's very monochromatic, but then with pops of color. So you'll see I have these neon green handrails and some other aspects I'll point out. Obviously the yellow, hot pink eyebrow, and just having some fun where this could only be in downtown Miami. Doesn't belong anywhere else. And I'll mention as far as the handrails, I'm showing one on each far end for use. Technically, code-wise, a handrail is not required because this is a deck. This is all one deck. So this is your fire exit, and so I do think it's good to have a handrail along that path. It is up to the fire marshal, fire chief, as far as what they require but by the Florida Building Code, because this is all one deck, you are not required to have handrails added. On this end, I'm still showing handrails here. You need that because it is an ADA ramp. So there you need the rails because it's a ramp for ADA. But here, I'm showing on each end kind of as a minimum recommendation if people want to hold on as they go down. And like I said, it's up to the fire chief or fire marshal. They might ask us to add another one here along what is technically a path of egress to the fire exit. It is not required. It is only required in the stairwell. The finishes that I'm showing, in addition to this floor tile, you can see this black pebble rock that I've used for the steps themselves, the planter, this new wall which connects to the column, and that's just at the planter. So obviously you can't step down to the planter. Right now there is a guardrail across here, so this is an added wall making it one element, kind of a frame all around. And point out some aspects. Move the sunlight so you can see it better. So one thing I want to point out is I am building this corner out some, and then I'm also building out this piece here between the two columns to have it appear as more of a continuous element in a frame. I'll show pictures of what's there now. And I am also wrapping this tile at the bottom, so it really feels like a frame element. Like this is the structure in black, even though it's really not. As far as all being concrete. So that is added, that's new. And I'm also showing, you see here, concrete edging at the steps, and then this pebble rock going up. And that is following kind of best practice. Like I said, technically this is not a fire exit path because it's one deck, but typically what you want to do as best practice is stripe the nosings to identify each step. So doing that and then matching that concrete edging with the concrete pool coating around the pool and spa, the hot tub. It really starts to come together as you look through all of this. These are the floor drains. You do need your depth markers, so there are some things that start to muddy it up. The access for the equipment, that's there. Of course, the pool ladders. And what I'm showing for the pool ladders and the railings are generic, and we can discuss options for that. As far as the pool itself, I want to point out a few little intricacies. So this is the PebbleTech pool finish, and then this black glass tile that has some really cool colors and different neons, and it's kind of iridescent. And what I wanted to point out is I'm switching the top, having it in white with black, and then here black with white. Again, just a little detail that I think will make a big difference. Makes it feel more upscale and custom when it's standard. What's required by code are contrasting colors for the depth markers. And you're only required to show it in feet and inches. I noticed right now you have meters also. I don't know if that's something you chose to do or something that someone else did, but I decided to follow what you have. The one difference, which I'll point out, is I swapped where these two are located as far as the meters and the feet, because the code requirement is to show feet and inches within 25 feet. So right now with these on each end, they're actually about 27 and a half, 28 feet almost apart. So technically the depth diagrams don't actually meet the code requirement. So fix that there, real easy, just tile. And then you can see here I'm showing also the banding for each step, which also is a code requirement. So you have the glass tile around the water line, the concrete coping around, and then the pebble tech inside. I'll go to the side here in the back. This is the dark wood tile, so it's picking up on that. And as I mentioned to Howard, I did look at cutting this down. You kind of see, so it would be higher here and then drop down. I looked at that. Didn't look bad by any means, but it would be extremely costly because I checked the structural drawings, and the way that this wall is built right now is there's a poured concrete beam at the top with concrete block infill below that. So if you demolish this, you would have to saw cut the beam and also saw cut some of the concrete block and then put in a new beam with rebar on top. And anyway, it would just become extremely expensive that I'm sure you don't want to do, and you'd rather spend those funds on the steps and opening up the entire pool deck. And I'm calling for right here. I'll get up close so it doesn't look quite as strange. It is the same square repeating over and over. Obviously, it's not really like this, the product of the modeling, but this is the continuation of that glass tile that's iridescent and black mixed together. And then this would be a low planter. So I mentioned I'll name a fountain for ease of maintenance. This is that same island stone that's called the pebble look. And then this is representing, I'll show, there's a burrito mosaic from the Mosaic Company that Eduardo suggested. I think it'd be really cool. Obviously not exactly like this, but you could have it framed in here and look really nice. Do something really cool. This is a specific mosaic tile. It's just how they display it on their website in this kind of shape, but you have a nice square rectangle taking up this to make it look like a framed picture with some uplighting and some landscaping, and it becomes a focal point. And then the new shower here, nice, modern, and sleek. I'll show you some different options for that. Of course, you'll have your pool furniture all around, maybe in the bright oranges, powder blues with monochrome frames. So just keeping that same theme of a simple monochrome palette with punches of fun colors. And as you come around here, I'm carrying that same wood look tile around with, I'm just showing a black gate, and this is the planter, of course, and then an iridescent glass tile just for this wall of the ramp. Again, it wouldn't be actual squares like that, just a product of the modeling software, but it will pick up on the iridescent pieces of the pool tile, and just that kind of teal aqua color along with the hot pink is just very Miami. You see the sconces, different light fixtures, and the elimination of that bar top really opens things up for versatility and ease of use. And the ramp there. Get into the lighting a little bit now. So this is where the place really starts to come alive. I'm not showing the pool lighting, but I am showing the overall light. So as we go in the night, you start to get a feeling for it. So I'm showing the LED lighting at the bottom of the handrails, and then these sconces light at the top and bottom looks a little funny, but I'll show you some pictures where it actually directs light up and down. And then I'm also showing LED lights at each step. It's continuous LED around each step. I did look at some sort of perimeter light that we talked about at the eyebrow. There really isn't a good way to do it. That's one of the things I wanted to show you. We come over here. With these columns out here, the question becomes, do we put it out in front of it, and so that goes all around? Do we put it at the perimeter here, where there's a drip edge? Do we build out, which is what I was originally thinking, to do that? And as I show you pictures of what's there now, you'll see there really isn't a good solution that would be low maintenance and I'll say cost effective. And I do think that with these sconces, there'll be plenty of light. And then of course the pool lighting will replace the lights that are there now. And then the other thing that I'm looking at are the LED lights that wrap all the way around the coping. I'm waiting to hear back from the pool consultant on making sure that we are allowed to do that, because Miami-Dade does have the most restrictive pool code in the country when it comes to commercial pools. There are some stories you might have heard in the news of kids getting electrocuted, and they passed some new legislation. They've been continually passing new legislation in that regard. So I want to make sure we are allowed to do that, but at the very least, we can replace the lights in the pool that are there now. This gives you a good idea of how the space comes to life, and it'll be a really enjoyable space at night. And you see different times of day with that dark brown, and then the bright punches of color kind of changes how it all feels. And the other thing I'll mention with the wall along the perimeter is that it does help cover your neighbors. So there is the really cool new building here, which you'll see, but then you have the school and the other buildings around. So it does serve a purpose by being at its current height as far as blocking out the adjacent buildings, and of course it'll keep your sound and everything within your space. That is the overall design. And now let me show you some of the specifications I'm recommending, along with what is there now and what we're dealing with. So I'll start with the burrito piece. So this is it here, and let me show you. There are a lot of options. I thought that one was the coolest, most appropriate. I want to show you, when it's actually installed, it's a mosaic. You can do it in just about any size. So the one that I've chosen in here has the people downtown, and I think is very appropriate for Brickell. Just screams Miami and Brickell. Next item are those stone tile. And then this is the glass tile that I have on the ramp wall as a little accent. This is the wood tile, which is the main one used. And it's the white, the gray, and the brown. And I do have samples of all of these they meet all the requirements for the pool, coefficient of friction and everything. So we're good with that. And this is the tile for the water line, which it's in the square version, but it's very, again, it's just very fitting. And then for the actual pool interior, I wanted to show you here. So I spoke with the rep from PebbleTech, and this is the one that I think is best. There are a few different ones that he suggested. The cool blue one is essentially white bits of blue, and you can see how it changes colors. The pool depth you have is 4.5 feet, so kind of in between those two at the bottom. And on the side, it becomes lighter, obviously, as it goes up. And as I mentioned to Howard, the longevity of this is just much, much better than a diamond bright. And then for the shower, I like this company. There are a lot of options. What I put in the model now is what I had them email me a 3D model of, and then manipulated it. But you can see there's a lot of really cool, sleek, modern designs, and I can probably get, actually I think this might be it, my professional discounts, because I might be logged in, but anyway, lots of options. They're specifically outdoor showers. And I do have a professional account with them, so I can get a discount. Not sure if what was being shown was actually the professional discount or just like a Black Friday deal. But I'm going to show that to you. And then this is the light I was thinking for the interior of the pool, if we're allowed to. This company is at least out of Nevada. It is domestic as far as US goes. Most of the companies I've found for these type of products are out of China, but this is specifically made for inside a pool. So I'm waiting to hear back from my pool consultant on if these are acceptable to go alongside the spots that you already have. Then when it comes to lights, this is what I have for the sconces at each one of the columns. And I want to show you the photography of it. Here you go. So this is what it really looks like as far as shooting up and down, which is why I think it'll look really nice in the space and then bounce off of the pink overhang. And I don't think we need additional light in there. And then I wanted to show you the size. So it's 7 inches tall, just so you can get an idea. It's a lot smaller than the sconces you have now, but it's minimal and sleek and provides a lot of light. And then this is a low profile recessed light that is specified. And if you see here, a 1/4 inch as far as that little bevel for the frame. That's why I say it's low profile. And then this is the one I have in the center. And as you can see here, down to 7/8, almost an inch. So it's a subtle difference, a little play with design. And then this is the fan that I show. As you can see, it comes with the light, and then also has a little light up top. Just a cool feature. And then I did this to make sure I mentioned the requirements as far as the depth markers being every 25 feet, and as far as the contrasting colors. And then what I wanted to mention is for the hot pink especially, I recommend using a Loxon SC or self-cleaning paint from Sherwin-Williams. It has some chemicals in it that help it stay clean longer. And I'll get to the pictures of what's there now. Especially with the bright colors, I think it'll be very important to have the best quality paint so that you aren't cleaning it as much. And also, as far as locking in the colors, continual problem that we have in South Florida is that the sun really bleaches bright colors and dark colors, and that's exactly what we're putting on the pool deck in the sun. So the quality of the product is important for it to last. And of course, the maintenance, proper maintenance helps also. And I'll come back to the last one. I'm going to show you so the pictures of what's there correlate. So obviously you have the mural right here, and I think that the new design we have will really tie into that and look really cool to where it's really a design of its particular place. And then I also wanted to point out here you can see that drop ceiling that's there now, the recessed lights. I do not have the electrical plans, the record electrical plans, so I cannot say for sure, but I suspect that these lights in the center might be emergency power, and these are not, don't know, but regardless, I think it'll be most cost effective just keeping the layout that's there, just changing out the fixtures. And I also want to point out, obviously, the exit signs, and the speakers, and the security, so the AV, and those little things we can just replace the low voltage, not a permitting type item. And I also want to show right here, so you can see right now on this end there are the columns, and this goes straight up. So what I'm calling for is to build out a connection right here and framing, so that you build that piece out to create the frame, and then also at this corner building that piece out so it continues. It'll go straight across here, and this, leave it as it is. You have the vents there, the louvers, and as you turn the corner you can see how that changes. So here this column is flush versus that the other one it's not, it sticks out. So it's creating that frame across here, that and cladding the tile where it looks like it's all one piece, and then again the tile at the edge here for that. And then this piece I wanted to also show, so you'll see what I have in the new design is real simplified. It's just basically squaring that off, so that it looks more minimal with the new tile. And then I will point out from here also the signs and the life preservers, those sort of things, and the pool equipment. I have another picture. Sort of all these little items I want to discuss with you. As far as the signage, that is something that we have the code requirements, and then we also have the Hampton Inn standard requirements. So if we keep them in the same location and put them somewhere else, that's something that's easy to do. This I wanted to check. I don't know if you have anywhere else that you could put those items. The life preserves are easy. I think those are fine to stay. I just want to mention the other items, all the little things do start to appear as acne on the space. And then I noticed the art that you have now, which I think is really cool. And that will tie in to something else I'm going to show shortly. I'm going to make sure there wasn't anything else to point out. I think that was the main thing. That covers that all. But if you imagine, this is no longer here. None of this is here anymore. It really just opens up the space. So, getting back to the art aspect, the last thing that I wanted to show you as an option is for the railing to the pool. So I spoke with this gentleman. He's based out of Lake Worth, and he makes these swans. He also has some other ones, but he said that his work, that these do comply with the Florida building code for the pool requirements for pools. As far as handrails go, I do know that there's a height requirement and the fact that it has to be continuous. So I have to double check that the height works. Obviously, it is continuous, but I think it would be a really cool option. Get something like that for the railing into the pool. And he also said that he can custom make anything that we want. So if we need to slightly modify something, that might be a possibility also. So something that could be cool. Again, could be anywhere else in the world, really. It belongs in Miami. And now I will go back to the design. So you kind of see again the dramatic difference now we looked at the existing pictures, where it's mainly a matter of finishes and products. And then, of course, the big change is opening up the whole space by putting the controlled access on the doors on the inside.
Miko, ay, Miko, ay, Miko, baby Miko. Tu mirada es profunda y la mía es penetrante. Yo siento que te conozco de antes. Me dijo que nunca había estado con un cantante.
Place that I would like to be.
No te creo.
Que se joda,
mami, voy pa' dentro, fue culpelo. Ey, pa' que te venga rápido, no necesito
leerlo. That's all for now.
Mis videos te pusieron de
I look
modelo.
forward to speaking with you soon.
Dame cara, dame pelo. Wow,
Thanks.
ella no es puta, ella es mujer alegre, fina, pero le gusta la calle PR, diva, se tira